We need to have an official introduction, Jamie. I'm so sorry you can't see my beautiful face.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Okay, and guess what? I don't know how to flip I'm trying to figure out why my camera's.
I see something.
Let me introduce you formally to Hajar is here.
Your volume's on mute, Jamie.
Did Jamie freeze?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, well, I'd like to formally introduce my friend Jaime Banyalmarjeh, who is a teacher at the Islamic School of Kansas City, Greater Kansas City. And some of the students that are with us today actually know you from going on the field trips. And so some of them are meeting you for like Peach has been on the field trips. So yeah, we've been doing this for a few years now, and you've also been to the last 2 culture fairs and brought some of your students. So since you can't physically come to Lebanon High School, we are having this virtual session instead. So you're going to be teaching us about Islamic cultures and Islamic art and architecture for the next hour, along with your students. So
yes. And my students will be jumping in probably around 11:20, which is when their class time starts. But I braved it. I walked up the parking lot in the Arctic wind to come up to the masjid. Masjid is the Arabic word. It is where Muslims go to pray our prayers in congregation, or alone if you just feel like going in to pray. You could do that at any time. The room I'm in right now, like I took my shoes off, you guys, and I'm wearing Doc Martens, and it takes me like a minute to get them on and tie them. So I'm not trying to put them back on right now. But I'll go out for a second with no shoes on to show you. This is one of the main entrances of the building is right here behind me. And so when we come into the building, we generally take our shoes off, and that's just really for cleanliness. When we pray, we put our faces to the ground. So it's nice to have clean carpet, not dirt everywhere or germs and stuff tracked in. So this room that I'm standing in right now is just the entryway to the masjid. There's some calligraphy on top of, by the ceiling there. And you'll notice a lot of shelves. Anybody want to guess why we have a ton of shelves here?
For all the shoes that people have to put in.
Yep, that's correct. And here's my shoes right here. It took me a few minutes to take off. Yep. So, yeah, they are. So, since COVID, I'm going to flip my camera, guys, so that you can see what I'm looking at. Since COVID, the masjid, just like many other places of worship, we have to be careful how many people are coming in. Our city, Kansas City, Missouri, has ordinances in place saying that we cannot have over a certain capacity in each room to allow for social distancing. So you're going to notice there's right inside the building directly is a table with sign-up sheets, and look at that, thermometers to check people's temperature, hand sanitizers, face masks. So technically, or I guess, at any other time, those things would not be found in the masjid, but these are COVID days. Oh my gosh, look at that. More face masks up there. That's hilarious. This is the office manager. That's my husband in there. He's pretending to work. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure he's really doing something super important. So you'll notice, well, actually, I'm going to have you just look. I just want you to look around you. And then think about sister, think about Ms. Barker's art class, art appreciation. Think about the things that you're seeing, because I can almost guarantee you, I know Ms. Barker. She's probably going to be asking you guys some questions about what you're seeing here. So pay attention.
On squinches.
What'd you just say?
It's a dome on squinches. So when you have to take a round dome and put it on something that's more of a square space. You make the transition with basically you take the dome and turn it into an octagon, and
Mhm.
the octagonal pieces are called squinches, and they help make that transition and hold up the weight of the structure.
Pretty cool.
Hashtag nerd.
Nah. Hashtag knowledgeable.
Indeed.
Exactly. Knowledge is always cool.
Yes.
Exactly.
Being a nerd is cool. I'm fine with that.
I just walked into, let me go back. I just walked into the main prayer hall. And so I want you to really look at the things that you're seeing and maybe things that you're not seeing. Yeah, I said that. Things that you're not seeing. What are you seeing and what are you not seeing in this place of worship? Okay, it's a pretty large room. You'll notice there's a glass divider. I don't know, it's completely open now because this is Friday, and Friday at I believe 12 noon is our first. We've broken the prayer times into two. Usually we have one big prayer time and hundreds of people come. However, due to COVID and the restrictions on, occupancy, you're going to notice we have blue pieces of tape on the floor that lets people know where they're supposed to be standing to be social distanced. Crazy times we live in, people.
Mhm.
Yeah, and people bring their prayer rugs so that they're not literally putting their faces on the carpet here. They have their own rug that they brought from home so they keep their cooties to themselves and not put their cooties on the carpet. The room is sanitized. They spray it down every prayer after every prayer. So look at the things you're
That had to
seeing.
be a difficult adjustment since Muslim prayers, people are standing shoulder to shoulder and are encouraged to be so close that their shoulders touch.
Yeah, it's been an adjustment, but I think also a part of Islam is that we know that it is our responsibility to do what is within our power, what is within our ability to do to stay safe and to stay healthy. So I don't think, it's been much of an adjustment because I believe people understand the importance of the social distancing and the importance of not showing up to pray if you're, sick in any way. Just stay home. Liz, I don't know if you want to say anything about the niche here and the minbar. If you were,
The niche, the cutout in the wall is called a mihrab. And does anybody know what that's for? I only have one art history student this year, and
oh, really?
they're all working on culture fair projects. So like right now, all of my students are doing the same thing. The classes will differentiate later.
Wonderful.
Probably starting next week, we'll start kind of moving into different mediums as they start their projects. But
Cool.
does anybody know what the significance of this cutout in the wall, or want to guess, or remember from a field trip?
I remember being there last time, and darn it.
When we have our communal prayers, this is used, like when we're here in congregation. So maybe make some connection to your own experiences in your places of worship. Maybe that'll help you kind of think.
Kind of like the
What?
pulpit.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm so glad you said that way, because we're really trying to change our focus this year to helping the students to make connections back to their own culture as they're studying others. So,
Or a lectern. Sometimes it's known as a lectern if it's
Right.
a lay leader.
Right. So lectern, pulpit. So this is the area where when the imam, the person that leads the prayer, or if we have like a sheikh, which would be a religious scholar, come and give a talk, typically he would walk up these steps here. I'm going to walk up them. And wow, I've never been up here. This is kind of cool. There's a chair. I guess he can sit if he so feels. And then there's a little podium, but he would stand here and address the congregation. When it's time to actually lead the prayer, he would come down from here. He doesn't pray up here. He'd come down from here, and there's where he would stand in the front of the room, because I'm going to turn around, see how big that room is, and then lined up, see the lines on the carpet. It's really just to keep the people organized, so they're not staggered all over the place. We stand in straight lines. Along the bookshelves, you'll see a lot of books. Those are a couple of different types of books. Well, looks like the majority of these are Quran, which Muslims believe is the word of God revealed to Prophet Muhammad through the angel Gabriel. And they're mostly in Arabic, although we have Qurans in Spanish. We have some in Urdu. It looks like we have one in, I think that's Thai. See that one up there, that red one?
Oh,
I think that's Thai. So there's Qurans in many different languages up here, translations of it, and then you have books that kind of they're hadith or sayings of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Okay, I'm going to look at the ceiling really quick, and I want you to notice what you're looking at. There's some cool skylights. Now look at the patterns and look at the figures that you're seeing. There's a lot of repetition in geometric figures and patterns.
Up
And again,
above the mihrab, that's actually Arabic calligraphy. If you didn't notice, it was writing.
yeah, here, let me go up to it a little closer. That actually says, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. That's Arabic for there is no God but the one God, the creator of all that exists, and Muhammad is his messenger. That's what that says up at the top there. And they read opposite of us, so that's La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. And let me go out of this room. So this is a really big room, and it does get super crowded on Fridays, which is our congregational prayer. In fact, pre-COVID, the entire first floor is filled with men, and the entire bottom floor is filled with men. So technically, even though we just recently expanded our masjid, we have already outgrown it. Here is another dome and squinches.
Yay!
I just like that word.
It's a good word.
And some custom made lanterns that were made for us by one of the brothers. Pretty cool looking.
Oh, I think those are new.
They were, yeah, I think they were here. I don't know.
Oh,
They've been here for quite a while. Maybe you just didn't remember them. But wait, I'm going to look down, and I hope I don't drop my phone. But this is to the lower level.
Fountain.
And there's a fountain which is never turned on because of little children playing in the water, which is hilarious to me. But it does work. We just don't ever have it on. There's a fountain. And in here is our it's a conference room. The plaque, the marble above the doors is what was actually outside of the original building. It was outside of on the top of the front doors to the building. But when we expanded, we brought that in. So brought it inside. And unfortunately, we had some vandalism. I don't know if you guys can see in the top corner, there's some blue stuff. Somebody had spray painted it when it was outside the building. Yeah, anyway. All of the wood that's used in this room was taken from the original masjid and repurposed in here, which I totally love. It gives me goosebumps. I love repurposing stuff. I'll show you guys the women's prayer hall as well. It's pretty much a repeat of the men's that you saw.
Never been in here.
Really? Dark
Think
corridor. Sorry, excuse me. They don't have the lights on.
maybe. I don't think
Don't
so.
blame them.
Is there another entrance, like in another corner?
Oh, maybe that's why I don't recognize it.
Yeah, I think
We've-
we go in by the front door.
3 doors. There's that one that leads to the front doors of the building. There's this one, which is
Yeah,
the
I do remember this. This looks to the side.
yeah, I just came in from a different angle. But it's almost a replica of the other room, about a third of the size. And we have a TV monitor set up here so that the women can see the imam, the leader of the prayer, or the sheikh, whoever is addressing the crowd, the scholar that might be addressing the congregation. So why all these geometric figures? Why all of this repetition?
What do you not
Uh,
see?
Yeah, and what do you not see in here?
Anybody
All I
want to
can recognize is the stars that are each above the little points. That's all I can.
Yep.
Besides that, I can't remember anything else from the field trip.
Yep, lots of 8-point stars all over the place. They're repeating in each of the rooms. That's so funny, Liz. I can hear the ding when somebody comes in.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on the waiting room.
Yeah, no, I have it disabled on mine, so I'm the only one that hears it.
So
Yeah.
think about religious art that you might see, and what you don't see here. Maybe that helps.
Yeah.
Quiet students.
I think the students are always like, when I say, what do you not see? They're always like, what are you talking about?
Your students are coming in.
Oh, cool.
I see an Egyptian flag.
Yeah, his camera doesn't work. He's got hideous Wi-Fi, and half the time he's getting kicked out.
All right, what are some images that you might see in a church? Sometimes you don't, though. It depends on the church.
Depends on the denomination where you're going.
Yeah. Anybody want to try?
Normally you'd see God.
Right. You might see depictions of Jesus, peace be upon him, or you might see depictions of saints or other important religious figures in Christianity. But you're not seeing any of that in the masjid. We don't have any depictions of people.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. Go ahead.
I was gonna say in Christian churches, or at least from what I've seen, there's a lot of crosses sometimes.
Yeah.
That's correct.
And like the one that I've been to, and like this other few that I've also been to, like churches and stuff, they have pews instead of like the ground. So
Yeah, so there's a place to sit down. Yeah, excellent. There's a place to sit down. Good observations. Right now we're in the lower level of the masjid, and this is like the overflow prayer room. And I'm really echoing in here because there's no like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, it's just a rough ceiling. But so when the upstairs gets full, people come down here to pray. And normally, if this was not a Friday that you guys were calling in, these mats would not be on the floor. This would just be this tile that's on the floor here. And this room is really used for all kinds of stuff. It's used for funeral, like kind of like funerals. Instead of being outside, we'll be inside and we'll say prayers over the deceased before we take them to the cemetery for burial. There have been weddings in here, like small wedding groups, or small wedding ceremonies in here. But on Fridays, it's definitely used for prayer. And
Will they use the upstairs sanctuary sometimes for weddings and funerals?
Yeah, they have in the past. Yeah, they have, but they come down here because of the tile floor, and we have food and stuff down here, and they just don't want. We discourage any food brought onto the carpet because it causes cleaning issues. Makes a big mess. So the doors that you're looking at in front of me lead to the outside. So we really have. It's funny because this used to be referred to as the back of the masjid, But honestly, it's like we have two front entrances. We just have the south entrance now and the north entrance now. The one where my shoes are upstairs, it would be the north entrance, and this would be the south entrance. That building, I don't know if you can even see it. The building over there, that's where I work. That's where the high school classes are. And so this is the entrance if you're coming in from the south side of the building. So like Ms. Barker was saying, you're not going to see any images of God. You're not going to see any images of people, basically, in the masjid. You're probably not going to see anything other than maybe floral patterns in a lot of masjids. Our masjid is fairly new. I mean, this expansion is fairly new, and I think the people that were involved in designing what it was going to look like inside just wanted to keep it very very simple, and they stuck with just the wooden geometric patterns. This is all wood. We had a man that does woodworking. His name is Christian, ironically. And Christian did all of this. He cut all of this out for us and stained all of it. Those 8-point stars are, you can't see from where you are, I don't think, but they came in segments, and he had to build them like tangrams, basically. He was putting them together. Took him hours, but he did a great job.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he really did. So downstairs, and as with upstairs, okay, here's the hallway. Downstairs, as with upstairs, everything on the right side is kind of like men's. So there's bathrooms over here for the men, and that's the imam's office, the leader of our prayer. His office is right there. And then everything on the left is for the women. So there's a restroom here. And this is a reflection downstairs. Downstairs, the same thing. The restroom is on the right. The women's restroom is on the left. Oh, I didn't take you to the restrooms down there. I think I should, because of where we wash.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
The kids are always in for a surprise when they use the restroom there.
They're like, what is this? Yeah.
I know, that's awesome.
Uh-huh. So, hang on, guys. Let me go back down. Boy, I'm getting my steps in today. My feet are freezing cold on this tile down here. So this is in men's restroom, which is the same. It looks the same as the men's side. Oh, come on, White. Okay, there we go. Whew. Okay, so this is the women's restroom.
You might be breaking up, Jamie. Okay, here we go. Is this like a tornado shelter also?
No, it's downstairs and I'm in the basement. Can you?
Oh, yeah.
Can you see it? So this
Yeah.
is where we sit to wash. When we wash our feet, this is where we sit down. And then there's actual restrooms over on that side.
Those are pretty handy.
But yeah, so we sit on those little stools and we wash ourselves so that we can purify before we pray. And the upstairs restroom is similar, but way smaller, way smaller. But there is a space for you to wash for prayer in the restrooms upstairs as well. So that is one of the masjids in Kansas City. There are actually numerous. The last time I counted, I think there were 10.
Oh, I had no idea. I knew there were a couple others, but I didn't know there were 10.
Here we go. This is the upstairs restroom. See, it's like, what, an eighth of the size of downstairs. But, and there's the stalls and the sink and everything. But yeah, this happens to be the oldest masjid that's still functioning in Kansas City. It's one of the largest. And yeah, we have many here. And I have to cover because there are other people in the building now. These brothers are coming in to pray. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. How are you? One of my students who I have not seen in a minute. Or two or three.
Students, what
Hey, maybe it's years.
in greeting.
I was saying salam wa alaikum, peace be upon you. And then they answer wa alaikum salam, and also peace be upon you, and also on you. So people will be arriving for prayer here in just a moment. So I don't know if there was anything else you wanted me to show them, Liz. You've been here more than once. I'm sorry, Ms. Barker.
You're very thorough.
Yeah.
Kids have questions about the masjid.
Sure.
They can ask while you're there.
Sounds good to me. I'll flip the camera back on me, even though my face is covered. Okay. I'll go into my husband's office and then I don't have to. Why are we in the dark? There we go. So do you guys have any questions about anything you've seen? This is in his room. And you'll notice also there's just pieces with calligraphy on them. Different verses from the Quran, which is our holy book that's on the walls. But you're not going to see any pictures of people, like, you know, drawings or paintings of people. And I love this thing. I don't know who made this or where it came from, but we've had it for a long time. This is like on a really large piece of foam core.
Oh, wow.
And it's a printout of Mecca. And Muslims believe that black cube that's called the Kaaba, it was built by Prophet Abraham and his son Ishmael. Yeah, it's really big. I mean, it's the whole wall size. I don't know where it came from, but it's cool.
Could you tell them a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your story? Because that might be something that they're wondering that they're not asking because they're shy.
Aw, you guys are shy. Aw, okay. All right, so I'm going to leave you, Fadi. I'm going to leave the next. Oh, and I'm not cussing him out. His name is Fadi, F-A-D-I, not F-A-D-Y. Just FYI, guys. It's my first sip of coffee I've had all day. I don't know how that happened. I've been Muslim since 1994. Who's got the math brain and can do mental math? How many years is that? Like almost 30 years. 30 minus 4, so 26 years? Okay, don't laugh. I have to put on the shoes. I put on the docks. So I got married to someone who is Muslim. My husband he was born and raised in Kuwait City, Kuwait. But his parents were from Syria. And I met him and I just thought that he was a very interesting fellow because he didn't drink alcohol, he didn't smoke, he didn't do a lot of the things that, you know, typical young Americans do. And I was very interested, kind of fascinated by his culture. But I didn't accept Islam as my religion because I met him, you know. It doesn't work that way, you know. But as I started learning and asking more questions about Islam, it just it made sense to me in my brain and the way my head works, you know. I truly believe that I was guided to Islam, and it just made a lot of sense to me. I liked that. I liked the lessons and the things that I was learning about Islam. So I became Muslim in 1994. I had gone overseas to visit Syria. We went to Damascus, Syria, and met his family there. That's where his father and his mother were from originally. And so we went to Damascus and I spent a month there. Believe me, if you're going to pay for the airfare, you better stay a minute. It's not cheap. So
You kind of remind me of Mr. Rogers putting on his shoes, you know. You
Not
could
the same thing.
whistle a little tune here. Won't you be my neighbor?
It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood, a wonderful day. Anyway, you guys don't want to hear me sing, really, do you?
It's all good.
Yeah, it's all good. So when I got back from Syria, I had enrolled at UMKC to take Arabic because I really wanted to be able to know what the heck my husband was talking about half the time with his friends, and I wanted to be able to communicate with his family. So I enrolled in University of Missouri Kansas City in the Arabic class there. And I was literally 2 weeks late getting into the class because I was overseas. And I'd already cleared it with the professor and told her, oh, I know the alphabet. I can talk some. I know some stuff. I know some stuff. I know some Arabic. So she allowed me to enroll, and even though I was going to miss the first 2 weeks of class. And this particular teacher was a little Egyptian lady. Her name was Mervat.
Oh, it's Mervin.
Yeah.
Love her so much.
You knew this story, Ms. Barker. But yeah, Mervat, Ms. Barker knows her. She's met her. And so she was my Arabic teacher in university. And I would ask her questions about Islam and she would answer them for me. And the simplest way I can explain it is that it just made sense to me. It just made sense to me. And so I accepted Islam, like formally accepted Islam as my belief, as my religion, as my way of life. And I've been Muslim ever since. I did not start wearing a scarf. This is called a hijab. I didn't start wearing hijab immediately. I was very worried about what people were going to say, like, what the heck, what is on your head? What are you doing? And I worked in the corporate world. I worked at AT&T. I was working in a corporate office and I thought, oh Lord, I can't just be rolling up in there with a scarf on. They're going to think I'm lost my mind. So it took me a while. And then I felt that I really needed to be wearing it. I kind of felt a little, I don't know, hypocritical or something, I guess you could say. Like I knew that this was something I should be doing. It was for my betterment. So I started wearing a scarf and everybody at work was like, oh, it's Ramadan, you're fasting. Yeah, that's why you're wearing that thing. And I was like, uh-huh. Because I didn't feel like explaining it. I was like, oh, I'm not even going to go there because it's going to be like open a whole can of worms. But then eventually the month of Ramadan, which is when Muslims fast from sun up to sundown, that month went, right? It came and went. And I was still wearing a scarf and everyone was like, what's going on with this? What are you still doing? What is that for? So then by that time I thought, okay, let me explain. And so I explained to everyone that I worked with and they were so cool about it. They were like, wow, that's so awesome. Like you're living your faith. Like, you wear it. Like, other people, you don't know what religion they are unless they tell you, but you can tell you're Muslim because of the way you're dressing, you're like out there. And so
you have a student that wants to say something and is asking.
Go, student.
Imran
Hassan, yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, here you go. My unmute button wasn't working. Okay, so about the masjid from earlier. So earlier on, Sister Jamie said that this masjid was one of the largest, or maybe the largest one in the area. So with masjids, they can come in like a lot of different shapes and sizes. They can be like really, really large, and they can be small too. But they always have like these similar characteristics, like having a dome and towers. Like the one in Mecca does have a tower like the one behind Sister Jamie there, and I think crests as well. So that's something about the masjid. They can come in like stone or like stone bricks, or they can have like metal plating as well. And that's something basically about masjids that I want to say.
Thank you, Imran. Thank you. So that tower that Imran mentioned that's behind me here, that would be called a minaret. And if we were at a masjid overseas, that minaret would actually be large enough in diameter that a person could go up the ladder inside the minaret all the way to the top, and they would make the call to prayer so that everyone in the neighborhood knows that, oh, time to go run and pray. We got to go pray now. It's sort of like the equivalent to church bells in Christianity. When the church bells ring, that means, oh, time for prayer, right? So this particular masjid was built in 1980, and it was built with only one minaret. But interestingly enough, the original plan was to have two. The other one was going to go over here because it's symmetrical. They put the one minaret up, and it's kind of a fake minaret. Nobody really goes up in it. And the reason for that is because in Kansas City, Missouri, we have to follow the law of the land. And in Kansas City, Missouri, there is an ordinance against noise, basically. So it would literally be illegal for us to go up in the minaret and say the Adhan, the call to prayer, out loud. It would be against the ordinance for not having noise. So that is why we do not have an actual minaret, and we do not announce the call to prayer out loud outside the masjid. If you happen to go inside the masjid when it's time to pray, you'll hear the Adhan at that point in time. Okay, guys, I'm literally walking around to the south entrance so you guys can see it from the outside. I don't know. It's very nice from the outside. And I think I'm lower in elevation, so I really don't think you're going to be able to see the dome unless I really walk far away, which I suppose I can. But, and like Amran was saying, a masjid is really just a place to worship, and it can be somebody's front room, literally, but it could be also a really large, elaborate building. There are some masjids here in the United States that are quite big. Washington, D.C., if you ever get to go to our nation's capital, the masjid there is absolutely spectacular, gorgeous masjid. So let me see if I can flip the camera. I cannot see what I'm doing. The sun is in my way. Anyway, does anybody have any other questions? Or any of my students want to give any other input? That was excellent, Amran, by the way. Thank you.
I completely forgot, but is there a reason that you split up the men and the women?
I was waiting for that question. Thank you. Was that Ash?
Mhm.
Yeah, hi.
See, thanks. Smart girl. How am I going? Okay, don't make fun of me, people. Hold on. I have to get into my building. There we go.
You're adorable.
All right. Well, you got to do what you got to do. So Ash asked a very important question. She said, what is the purpose, or why do we have the men separated from the women? Okay, I'm out of breath. Basically, when we pray, in our prayer, we actually bend over at our waist, and then we prostrate on the ground. And so it would just be kind of awkward. For me anyway, as a female, I don't think I would really like having a guy stand behind me while I'm praying. I don't know. They don't need to see all that, right? So that's one other thing I could say about that. And if my students want to pitch in, please do, because I've been doing a lot of talking. But one other thing I can say is that besides just the inconvenience of having men stand behind me, Friday prayer, which is our congregational prayer, our really big prayer where everybody comes to the masjid, it is obligatory or mandatory for men. It is not for women. And you might say, well, why is that? Why do guys have to go to prayer, but women don't have to go to prayer on Friday? And there are a multitude of reasons. If a woman is on her cycle, she doesn't have to pray. If a woman has children at home that, are kind of hard to take to the masjid and pray, and just like in the church, make that connection to your own church, and the little kids crying, they usually have to be in the quiet room or the cry room.
You have students
see,
that want to say
comment.
something. Al, Imam and Dawood both want to say something.
Yeah, please do.
Basically, what I was gonna say was, going on what you said, Sis Jamie. Also, we have to respect the women's modesty. That's the whole reason we wear scarves. They wear scarves. Um, what I learned from my family is the hair of a woman is a woman's glory, so it must be kept like secret or covered unless you're with your family or other women. So we have to respect the women's modesty, and that's why there's no men with women. Also, uh, I was going to talk about what you call it, the how women are supposed to stay, or not like made forced to pray in the masjid. Just like Sister Jane was saying, there might be children at home, but also sometimes men we are supposed to be like the leaders of the house. So we're supposed to teach um, our sons how to pray and how to be a man. So usually we're not usually in the house all the time. So we don't have a lot of work to do in terms of the children. So that's why men are mostly going out to pray in the masjid. But it's not wrong if a woman wants to.
Right, exactly. Women do not have to stay at home. I mean, if they want to attend prayer, then go right ahead, but it's not obligatory for them. They don't have to go to the congregational prayer. Dawood, what did you want to add, or did he steal your fire there?
Yeah, I was just gonna mention that it's for modesty as well.
Very good. Yeah. The female in Islam is a very valuable thing, right? Kind of, I heard it explained once that a woman's beauty is like a really expensive diamond, right? Like if you were walking around with the Hope Diamond, if you guys don't know what the Hope Diamond is, look it up online. It's pretty awesome. It's at the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C. It is gigantic, ginormous. But I mean, you wouldn't be walking around with the gigantic Hope Diamond, through the streets of New York City. Somebody might snatch your diamond out of your hand, right? So it's about modesty and not trying to draw attention to your natural beauty, because women are beautiful. Sorry, guys, you're handsome too. I'm sorry. But also, men are supposed to be modest as well. Seriously, like for real. Like men shouldn't be walking around in jeans so tight they look like they were painted on. Right? Yeah.
My daughter also wants to say something, and please forgive my pronunciation attempts on
That's
name.
okay.
Yeah, so I wanted to add on to what Sister Jamie said about dividing the men and the women. I think it was a question from one of the students. It's because our last prophet, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he had this tradition of dividing the men and the women when praying, and we always try to follow our prophet, like follow in his footsteps. So whatever he did, we also try and do that. And back then it was basically a tradition to divide the men and the women to keep their modesties. So that's why we do it now, basically. I just wanted to add that.
Thank you. Very good. I sure wish I could see my students. If you guys' connectivity is good enough, let us see your pretty faces. Yeah, Wafat, go ahead.
Oh, thank you. You're seeing
so, men and women can pray in the same room as long as the men stand in front and the women stand behind, because when a woman bends over, you may be able to see her shape. So when you're praying, you need to have like full concentration on your prayer. So that's why if you were to pray in the same room, like the men can lead and they'll stand in front, and then the woman will just stand behind the men.
So it's to help you concentrate on your prayer. Thank you, Wafat. That was a very good point. There's many, many reasons behind it. So you guys have heard a few of them. I'm sure there's probably more.
I'd like to make sure that we have enough time for this. I'm a little worried, like I've asked Eric to be my co-host because I might have to jump off of here at noon because we've our board has made some decisions about what the rest of our school year is going to look like, staying in hybrid, and so Mr. Lowry wants to meet with department heads. So if Eric can stay, then you should be able to continue with this. The only thing is, it's recording. I probably could allow it to continue recording on my laptop, and then maybe he could come over here and turn it off. But I just
Sure.
wanted to make sure that your students have an opportunity to maybe show some of my students, our students, Arabic calligraphy and maybe how to write their names, because that's fun. And it gives them something that they can like take from the experience.
Okay, guys, don't laugh at me because if I flip my camera to where it's showing the board, is that going to be backward or is it not going to? No, it won't be backward. It'll be the right way. Never
Yeah,
mind.
if you actually flip it, it should be right.
Right. So it's good.
There's a
Okay.
whiteout board on Zoom. I don't know. It's been a
You
while
know,
since I've used
my
it.
version of Zoom on my phone doesn't have it, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. Also, just to let both Ms. Barker and Mr. Adams know, my class, my students have to go at 12 noon. We've only got minutes.
Yeah.
They have another class that they have to attend, and I don't want that teacher upset with me.
Okay, we have 10 minutes, and I think Imran wanted to say something about Arabic alphabet.
Go ahead, Imran.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to explain some things about the Arabic alphabet. Oh yeah, she's already okay. So in the Arabic alphabet, it is a lot similar with the English one. There are a lot of letters, or I think around, if I count again, I think there's around 20 or more. But so in the Arabic alphabet, they have their own individual sounds. It starts off similar to the English alphabet where it's like A, B, C, but it's not the exact same. Where it'd be there's the first letter in the alphabet is Alif, A-L-I-F. You can say it like that, and then Ba, which is like B-A-A. There's 28. Okay, yeah, my bad. There's 28 letters. And the thing about Arabic is that when I said it's a little bit similar to English, it does have some like things that are not as similar. So as where if you were writing in English, you would be going from I think left to right, and with Arabic, you would be writing from right to left. So if you were to be saying something in Arabic, you wouldn't be writing from the left because it wouldn't it wouldn't make that much sense. So that's what I wanted to. I didn't want to add too much because I know like there's not much time left. So that's it.
Basically what Imran is saying is those Arabic letters, these symbols that you see on my board, sorry for the glare from the window, but these letters that you're seeing on my board, you notice I started from the right and I'm writing left. So it's backwards from English, but each of these characters have a sound just like the English alphabet because they are phonetic. So each one has a sound that it makes. This is the letter Aleph, and it is like a sound, Aleph. Boy, my marker is terrible. This is Ba, like B. And what he was saying is that we've got some letters that you guys don't have in English, okay? This is the letter Ain. It makes a I sound. This is the letter Ghain, which makes a R sound. This is the letter Qaf, Qaf. Kind of like a Q, but it starts in the back of your throat. We don't really have that sound in English. This is Kaf, kind of like a K. This is Lam, like L. This is Meme, like M. This is Noon, like N. I wasn't finished. Oh gosh, I can't write in Arabic. You know how long it's been since I've written in Arabic, you guys? Oh my God, I can't do it. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I'm going to cheat. This is the letter Ha. Wow, which is like a W. And then Yeah, which is like a Y. We don't have this letter in English at all, like no sound for it. We don't have this one. We don't have this one. We really don't have this one. Oh, I'm missing 2 letters. Oh my gosh.
Odd.
Yeah. We don't have these in English either. So we have extra letters, but at the same time, Arabic does not have a letter for P. We do have a letter that represents the P sound. So funny and true story. Funny and true story. When my husband's a little bit better about it right now because he's been here for 30 some years, but he used to say, hey, I want a pizza with some Bebzi. Pizza and Bebzi. So, because Arabic only has this B sound. So he would say Bibza, Bebzi, yeah, it was funny. I'm sorry.
The place where we were on the archaeological dig in the Golan, on the border with Syria and in what's now Israel, the ancient name for the place was after the Greek god Pan. So its original name was Panaeus. And then the Romans renamed it Caesarea Philippi, and that's how it appears in the Bible. But when the Arabs came into the area, they wanted to take it back to its original name, so it's Banyas.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, all the road signs are Banyas now with a B. But
Yeah.
that's when I first learned about the missing P.
Arabic. Yeah. Yep. No P sound. There's also no V. There's no letter V as well. And so it's interesting because if you want to write a word that has a letter V in it, they take the letter F and then they add extra marks on it and they make the F into a V sound. Yeah.
So can you write a couple names? I'm going to scroll down and look for my students that are here. Trey is here. So can you write Trey and maybe he can screenshot it?
Sure. Oh, God. Guys, help me out, Arabic students. Tur. This is Tur. And then what about for the A? It's going to be Aleph. Trey, is that right?
I guess you could write TR Aleph and then Y. Yeah. So just take off the Hamza because it's not a sound.
Okay, like this?
I guess you could say that, but it's not the same exact pronunciation though. Because we don't have
you're gonna have
sound.
Yeah, you're gonna have an Arabic accent. And I'll give you guys an example because my name in Arabic, if an Arab sees my name, that's my name in Arabic. Instead of Jamie, they're gonna say Jamie. It's a sound. Jamie. So I don't know. It just yeah. Give me another name, Liz, and then my students will help me.
Cheyenne.
Okay. Cheyenne.
Oh yeah, Cheyenne. That's right.
Help me out, Jad.
We're throwing curveballs at you.
Have a Aleph after the Sha. And then 2 Yaz and then a Nun.
So it's going to be with the shadda on it, sah?
I mean, because you pronounced the Ya twice. Cheyenne. Yeah, I guess so.
And you might have to back your camera off a little bit after you write it.
So that's Cheyenne. And I really am so sorry about my glare. There we go.
Got it. We have Peach. So that's difficult because
you're going to be, you will now be beach, Peach.
No, that's not good.
You are going to be a beach. A beach.
No.
No, we're not going to do beach. I'm not saying the other word. I'm saying beach, like as in sand, sun and waves and stuff. Beach.
Sorry, 26 years in high school. My mind goes right there immediately.
And actually, there's no ch sound either. Your name is hard, Peach. I'm sorry.
That's true.
Well, how do you say the fruit? Like, how do you say peach as in the fruit's name?
It's a different word altogether.
There, write that. And
yeah, I mean,
that might be the.
Okay, that's going to be what we're gonna call her. Jad, is it Hoch or is it Bar Hoch or is it?
It's
What's
kho. Just a
Kho?
kha, kho, like that.
Kho.
Another letter that English doesn't have.
Yeah.
Kho.
I
Kho.
would learn this word.
Help me out, Jack. So it's kho, and then what else?
Have a wow, and then
Wow,
just
and
that
kho.
on its own.
Okay.
What's the last letter? Is
Same
huh?
as the first.
Wow.
Kho.
Oh wow. Oh, that's
Kho.
oh.
Yeah. Good job, Liz.
Oh,
I'm impressed.
that's fun. That is
Oh.
so much fun.
I'm impressed with your kho.
Peach, can you say oh?
Oh,
It's
Oh.
hard one. It's a hard
Oh.
one.
That
Yeah,
is super cool.
So that's what peach is in Arabic. You just learned a new Arabic.
Okay, I'm gonna get a picture of it. I got it.
Did you get it?
I got
Okay.
it.
Okay.
We have Caleb here.
I guess it'd be Ka Alif
That was
Mim
the easy.
Ba Lam Ba.
Caleb.
Yeah.
Caleb. I am so sorry. My marker is just crud.
I'm trying to. I don't think we did Ash yet.
Okay. So this is
It's
Caleb.
Ash or
Ashlyn.
Ashlyn.
Caleb.
Ash, your name is literally 2 letters.
Well,
Arabic.
it's also Ashlyn.
Oh,
If you
well,
would
that's just
extend it.
Ash. Okay. Look at her making me work here. So
I'm
it's
sorry that my parents named me this way.
no, you're good. I'm just trying to give Miss Barker a hard time. Somebody needs
Ash
to.
doesn't miss anything. I'm looking at, I have a couple of quiet kids on here. There's Anna.
That's easy.
It's 12 o'clock.
All right, Islamic school kids, salam alaikum. Thank you so much for showing up.
Ma salama. Thank you for doing this. Shukran if you speak Arabic.
Bye.
Salam alaikum, dude.
There's a Sierra on here.
Sierra? Oh, okay. We're still doing names. Hold on. I want to see if I've got.
I think there's
I
about
want to
two
see if
more.
I've got a better. I want to see if I have a better marker. You know, like I haven't used my whiteboard for ever.
Eric, do you mind if I jump onto my other meeting and you
Go ahead.
host the rest of this? And if you have to come, I think when the meeting is over, we can just hit, and I just need to make sure that I transfer the file. Hopefully I can stick around long enough to do that before I have to also run and get Abram.
Sierra, that's your name.
Hello.
Somebody has an R2D2 on their phone. What was that? So this is
I'm getting
Some of the classes have like Star Wars
so
ringtones.
cute.
It's nice to be wanted and needed. Thank you.
I'm not a Star Wars fan, so I find it annoying.
I thought it was funny. I'm like, what is this? R2D2? What?
It's
Okay,
just
so that's
Barker.
Is
So-
it possible to do one of my cat's names?
Sure.
Her name is Gutters.
Gutters. Okay.
I did not name her. I did not name her. I had no choice in it. My father did.
Okay.
We just
So
drove home. We drove home, and he's like, "I'm gonna name a cat Gutters." Period. And then the next day we got her. So
here's the interesting thing. There is also no G. There is no G in Arabic. So the closest we can do is use a J sound. So gutters. Gutters. This is hilarious. Okay. Yeah, poor kitty. Poor kitty. All right. So in Arabic, it would kind of be gutters. Gutters. If I'm saying it with an Arabic accent, it would be Jatters, because
Oh,
we
you
don't
poor baby girl.
have a G sound. I know. Poor cat.
Your
I
poor
know.
baby.
It's terrible. I'm so sorry.
Jitters.
Jatters. She is now Jatters. Caleb, I got you already, right? Who else? Anna was so easy. Anna, did you even see your name? It's literally 3 letters. Anna. 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 Aleph, Noon, Aleph. Anna. I got Sierra. Kaylee, Christopher. All right, how about Kaylee? Oh, Ms. Barker is like, don't forget Kaylee. She's looking out for you, Kaylee. All right, so that's Kaylee. So Kaylee. Kaylee. You notice I'm putting little marks on these letters that tells me that this is an A sound. K-L-E. Kaylee. And then there was somebody else. Christopher. Oh, there you go, Kaylee. So that's Kaylee. You can see it. Man, I'm glad I'm not writing on my whiteboard for my students because that glare is terrible. Kerr. Toe. I'm running out of space. Christopher, your name is the longest. Christopher. Chris. Kerr. Christopher. That's really long. Christopher. So that's Christopher's name. All right, cool. So you guys, I really hope that, I know that like this is not the most ideal setting. I would love for you guys to be able to come here because usually that's what you do. You guys get to make a field trip up to Kansas City and you make a whole day out of it. Or if it was for the cultural fair, I would have hauled all my students down to you guys to see you. So I don't know. Let's just hope that COVID-19 coronavirus goes away sooner than later because I'm getting sick of it. I don't know about you guys. Yeah, seriously, it's just, I don't know. It's putting a damper on my style, people. Anyway.
I'm surprised we've lasted this long at this point.
I had corona back in September and
right.
it was horrible. And I still have a little, like going outside was not fun. Yeah, it like hurts my chest. But anyway.
Once.
I'm just glad my grandmother has to like live through this because she died before the corona like really got out.
Yeah, I feel you because it's really hard for the elderly that are stuck in nursing homes and can't see anybody or anything. It's just not cool. Anyway, guys, I am so happy that I was able to join you. I'm sorry that my time is short because I've got 6th graders. Oh, God, help me. I have 6th graders that I have to go teach world history to right now. And that's kind of the thing about private school. Sometimes, even though I'm a middle and high school teacher, sometimes I have to teach the younger ones. So
good to hear from you and see you, Jamie.
You do always, Eric. Let me know if you need anything else, guys. And students, if you need anything from me or have any further questions, just let Ms. Barker know and she'll get a hold of me.
Sounds
okay?
Great.
All right.
Alrighty.
Thanks. And
Thank
you have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Have a good night. Good day. Goodbye. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.